My name is Roy Williams. I'm a playwright. Been writing plays and television and film for about coming on 21 years.
And how did you feel when you landed the OBE?
Surprised. I mean, I got the letter, and it always looks very when you get the letter, it's very unflattering. It doesn't look like it's come from Downing Street at all. I mean, it looks more like a tax bill than it does anything else. And when you open it, you just think, oh, okay. And no, I was stunned. I never thought that something like that would ever happen to me. I did have a conversation about myself, or whether I should accept it or not. Because the whole,
Yes, the British Empire.
The British Empire, that phrase, and are you sucking up to the establishment and such and such? But I came away thinking, well, no, I'm not. It hasn't changed me. I'm still the same writer I was before I got the thing.
Yeah. But it's an honour, actually.
Yeah.
It is an honour, and you're being acknowledged.
Yeah.
And also, I think they are positive role models in the arts, that actually we are being honoured in this way.
Yes,
so
exactly.
I think for those reasons, it's working, and we need that shift right now.
I would agree. I would agree. I think we still need that shift. I feel anyone who still thinks, oh, but we've progressed, we've gotten better, I think is slightly deluded. I think if anything, I think sometimes we've reverted. I think there's still more to be done, and me sort of just spending the day at the Buckingham Palace speaking to the Queen for 20 seconds is going to help. So be it.
Yeah. It's been a little while, so I'm going to take you back a little bit, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So I think what would be great if we know from you, when was the first time you met Spare Tyre?
It was in 1987, 30 years ago, scary. I was a member of the Coppet Youth Theatre, and they told us that the theatre, via ILIA, got money to do a project with a professional theatre company called Spare Tyre. Because of Spare Tyre and the work they did at the time, very sort of feminist theatre, they wanted to do a play about sexism.
Okay. Roughly how old were you then?
I was 19.
19. So actually people were very young in
that.
Yeah,
I think the average age was 18 to 21. Yeah.
So still kind of finding your way.
Very much so. Very much sort of finding our way. That's the reason why we were all there. Yeah. We all had an interest in art, some in acting, some in writing, some in directing, and that's why we were at the youth theatre. We were just finding that out for ourselves and having fun.
And when Spare Tyre came in and said they wanted to look at sexism, how did you feel, or how did your fellow youth theatre members feel?
We were excited. We just knew we were excited that there was a professional theatre company, three women, Claire Chapman, Harriet Powell, and Katina Noble, who were just great and full of life and very funny and full of beans. We just kind of thought, yeah, we like these guys. We want to work with them. We had 6 weeks rehearsals, and as I say, it was a huge commitment because it was 5 days a week, 9 to 5. So we all had to kind of bring stories, our own sort of personal things that may have happened to us, or inspire, things that happen to people we know as well. And I remember one scene I did with my friend Michael. It was these two young boys at school, but really, really close. So it was assumed by all the everyone else in school they were gay. So it's just about these two boys trying to sort of define themselves and sort of thinking, well, we're not gay, but we're close. Why can't we do that? There's one song in particular where all the females of the group got together and sang this really powerful song about about these women trying to empower themselves. It came off the back of one of the characters, and the boy I played that guy, and he was teased because, oh, you got beaten by a girl in a race. So after the race, we actually staged the race on stage, actually. We both ran off stage, ran around, and came backstage and came back onto the stage again, and she beats me by a whisker. And afterwards, she comes up to shake my hand, the character I was playing, and I hit her. Because I just couldn't, the character I played just couldn't handle being beaten by a girl. She cries on the shoulder of her friend, and then that inspires her and the other to get up and sing this really powerful song about young women empowering themselves. That's it. Yeah, we've taken all the blame, we've taken all the flack. It's time to show our anger. It's time to fight back. We can, we will, and we must. I mean, it was a real showstopper. and it got a rousing applause, standing ovation every time when we did it. But during rehearsals, I remember it really divided the company, and the division was fairly obvious. It was the boys versus the girls, because we in rehearsals we sat down, we heard that song, and it was so powerful and so vivid. We felt we were being attacked as boys, and we just kind of felt it's attacking us, it's attacking men. You're saying all men are rubbish, all men are shit, and we're not. We're here. We believe in what we're trying to say in terms of sexism and male identity. Why are you picking on us? And they said, we're not picking on you, but that's how we feel. And it got so bad in rehearsals. Spare Tyre had to stop rehearsals for the day. Wow. And everybody had to get around in a little circle, and everybody really just had to be honest and really just say exactly what they were feeling. Because they said, look, we can't go any further until this is resolved. And
that's very powerful.
I know, yeah.
That's very powerful theatre.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah. That's why I've never forgotten it. That's why I've never forgotten that play, that experience, and it's certainly it's stayed with me over the years. It really has.
Yeah. And that show was called Fists and Fingernails. Is that right?
Fingernails, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't remember any of the songs by any chance, can you?
Oh no, I remember the theme song, Fists and Fingernails, because that was the opening.
Yes.
What was the? I'm not going to sing. But I remember like Fists and Fingernails, Girly Girls and Masculine Males, What You See and What You Sees and What You Fails, the best years of our life. Because it was centered around at school. Yeah. What I took away from that was, wow, that's the power of theatre. That is what a song, just a song, can do, and how it can stoke up these feelings among these group of young people. That had never happened to me before then.
Tell us about Rose Bruford.
It was a 3-year writers' course. Started in '92, graduated in '95. I just feel at that time I was ready to take my writing seriously. However, at the time, the only thing I had written was a short 45-minute play called Luke for Gary. And I wrote that play. It came off the back of the play I was doing with Spare Tyre, The Fists and Fingernails, based on the scene that I acted in the play about two young boys who are so close, everyone thinks they're gay. So I took that scene out and made it longer. It's a 45-minute piece. And that was the only thing, that was the first play I'd written, the first thing I'd written. So when I got an interview with Rose Bruford, you had to submit an example of your writing work, and that was all I had. So I sent that in, and that was the play. And on the strength of them reading that play, I got a place at Rose Bruford.
Wow!
Did a free writers course. So Spare Tyre is kind of one of the reasons, I'm sitting here talking to you.
So it was really pivotal.
It was very pivotal. That's why I've never forgotten, because because of Rose Bruford, I got my play done at Stratford East. But because of Theatre Sense, but because of Spare Tyre, I got into Rose Bruford because I wrote that play because I was so inspired to doing that show with them just ignited my love for writing.
And you did say just a little bit earlier on that actually sometimes it's okay to be a black writer and sometimes it's okay to just be the writer. But actually, largely in your career, do you think people respond to you initially just as a black writer? Is that what they expect from you? Yes,
I do. Good and bad. I've had long conversations about myself in that regard. Do I want to be seen as a writer? Do I mind being called a black writer? And I've come off where I come out of that is, I don't care what they call me, as long as they don't miss out the word writer. I've got no problem being labelled as a black writer, but I know what that comes with, because I just sometimes feel it's not my place to say I'm not a black writer. I think it's my place to challenge what they perceive a black writer is. Yes. That I do come up against with people, even people with the best intentions in the world. They just can't help themselves. I don't know, maybe it's just a human nature thing. We just cannot resist putting people in boxes, and that's fine. Well, it's not fine, but I think it's down to us, the people who when we feel we've been placed in a box, you do what you can to kick and punch your way out of that box and say, okay, fine, that's how you see me, but I'm going to challenge your perception of what a black writer is, and that's what I do. That's what I aim to do in my work. You know, I want to surprise them any chance I get.
So, Roy, how do you think it was important for you to have somewhere to go to when you first started off?
Very important. I wouldn't be here speaking to you if there wasn't somewhere like the Cockpit or companies such as Spare Tyre to kind of just help me bring out that voice in me, because I was looking for somewhere, even though I wasn't fully conscious of it or not, but I was kind of searching, and lucky for me, I found that place in order just to kind of just sort of say, okay, this is me, this is what I want to say about the world I'm living in.